Ready, start, para. The plaintiff submit that the present plea relates to the denial and non-recognition of the beneficial interest of defendant number 2 of the shares held by the defendant number 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 in defendant number 1. The cause of action arose on 31/12/2016 when the draft consolidated financial statement of defendant number 11 records deconsolidation of its accounts with those of defendant number 2 for the reason that there is absence of confirmation of beneficial ownership from the legally registered shareholders of the entities. Thus, on 31/12/2016, it became manifested that the recordal of declaration of beneficial interest of the defendant number 2 would no longer be caused to be made by those in control of defendant number 2 and its affairs, namely defendant number 3, 4 and 7, and which hostile action led to not only the denial of the recording of beneficial interest of defendant number 2 but also to deconsolidation with retrospective effect of its accounts with defendant number 11. With the deconsolidation of accounts, it became clear that a hostile action denying the beneficial interest of defendant number 2 stood taken by defendant number 3, 4 and 7. The cause of action further arose on 7/6/2017 when defendant number 1 refused to acknowledge the beneficial interest in the suit shares para. The cause of action further arose when defendant number 1 through defendant number 10 on 27/6/2017 once again refused to acknowledge the beneficial interest in the suit shares. The cause of action further arose on 12/11/2017 and 24/11/2017 when newspaper articles being in public knowledge suggested that the equity of the defendant number 1 is being sold to private equity investors through a bidding process, and the present investors, including the defendant number 3 to 7 along with defendant number 8 and 9, are attempting to sell their investment in the defendant number 1 and exist the health insurer. The cause of action further arose on 21/12/2017 when newspaper articles of the Economic Times being in public knowledge suggested that the 5 companies have been shortlisted to purchase the defendant number 1 and that the floor price of 55 crore has been put for the sale by the defendant number 1. Full stop. Over.